Okay, got another tasting session tonight. I think most of the tasting sessions I've done have been on tobaccos that hadn't had a lot of experience with. Maybe that was like the first time I was smoking them, and honestly, it's been kind of fun. It's been kind of fun, smoking some newer stuff like that. Like for instance, Capstan Blue. I think the times I smoked it on the channel were like the first tins that I had smoked. I smoked the Ready Rub, I smoked the Flake. The Briar Fox. I mean, there's been a ton. There's been some on there that I've obviously smoked in the past, but been having a lot of fun. This is one that I've smoked a handful of tins of in the last 17, 18 years. I'm not like I don't smoke a ton of stuff with Latakia. Usually I'll have like between 4 and 6 tins open, and most of the time only one of those has Latakia, so that kind of gives you a hint. But what it is it's a GOP's Westminster. Now, Pease, he states on the tin that it's English. Hey, hey, go on. He states on the tin, by the way, that was a dog, not my kid. Bear, go on, go lie down. He states it's in English, and I'm gonna believe him, but it does feel like there's quite a bit of Latakia here for in English. It feels a lot more like a Balkan, but I don't know. Now, what we got in here is red Virginias, a little bit of bright, and then Orientals and Latakia. So pretty simple. Two different types of or two different colors, I guess, of Virginias. There's reds, brights, Orientals, and Latakia. Like I said, he calls it a perfect everyday English. I don't personally agree with the last statement, a perfect everyday English. Now, this is marketing. He's trying to sell product. I get it, I'm not even 100% sure that I would agree with it being in English. It feels more like a Balkan. But we're going to believe him, and we're going to assume that there's more Orientals than Latakia. Which Latakia is like, basically another form of Oriental, but more Orientals than Latakia. That's what makes it English. It's Virginia with Orientals that are in a higher amount than Latakia. Generally, that's what makes it English. A Balkan blend is Virginias with a higher concentration of Latakia than Orientals. Generally. I'm sure there's other people out there with other opinions on what makes what, but I think for the most part that's what's sort of accepted. Today I'm smoking a little Stanwell. I forget the number. The number is actually not on here stamped anywhere. I want to say it's an 87. I think it's an 87C. So it's a little conical shaped deal. You don't see a lot of these around. There's not. They're a little bit on the rare side. I got lucky and found one at a local brick and mortar, brand new. It isn't made in Denmark, which I only picked it up a few years ago. I think I picked it up after they moved to Italy, so I'm not exactly sure how it came to be in there, but there you go. Now, there's basically just scraps left in here, dust. But it's smoky, it's vinegary, There's some barbecue sauce there, a little bit of ketchup. You know, not a lot of sweetness, like, you know, that sort of barbecue sauce kind of smell, that smoky barbecue sauce kind of has a little bit of sweetness, you know, that it goes along with that. Um, and you can definitely see the Orientals in there. Um, you know, well, what I'm assuming is Orientals. I can see the bright leaf, you know, what I think are Virginias, and that sort of greenish, that earthy greenish hue that you know um, that you kind of, you know, equate with an Oriental, and then the you know, the Latakia is pretty recognizable. Now, when you smoke Westminster, I mean, I think it's a really good blend. When you smoke Westminster, it's not real sweet. It's very savory. Um, it's a little bit tart. You know, you get that sourness off the Orientals. You obviously get the smokiness. You know, for me, um, you know, if Latakia is used in a blend, you know, even more than just a tiny bit, it's like pretty noticeable. It's what sticks out the most to me. In, you know, most cases, there's some, I think GLP's Fillmore, I think, is mainly Virginia, maybe a little bit of Perique and a tiny bit of Latakia. And it really is a small amount. I want to say it's Fillmore. I could be wrong, but this is kind of like Westminster's kind of reminiscent of Maltese Falcon, but slightly toned down. I think Maltese Falcon is, you know, would be considered a Balkan blend. It's pretty well balanced. I will say too, this tin is from 2009, so it's 14 years old, and yeah, I think if this has taught me anything, it probably taught me that you probably don't need to, you know, age it. I don't I don't personally think that it's really that much better than the tins that I smoked before that were only, you know, a year or two old. Um, it seems like once, you know, these kinds of blends, these English blends, once they get over that 5 to 10 year mark, I mean the amount of um, superiority diminishes way more than like with a Virginia or a Virginia Perique or something like that. You know, these English and Balkan blends, they're designed, in my opinion, they're designed to smoke, you know, with good flavor, be well balanced, not be harsh, and to smoke cool. You know, fresh. That's where that's, you know, that's one of the good things that Latakia brings to a lot of blends, is it really tones them down. You know, adds that sort of earthy smokiness to it, and you get good smoke production. You have good smoke flavor, and you don't really need to age it. I wouldn't say, you know, oh, I'm gonna buy, you know, I really like it, I'm gonna buy 10 tins, I'm gonna age them for 20 years. I mean, you can do that if you want. I'm not gonna do that. I don't feel like it really makes that much of a difference, and I don't know that I'm really gonna buy a whole lot of a lot more Westminster. You know, I'm so partial to like Piccadilly and early morning pipe. Um, I'll probably just stick with those. You know, I really like early morning pipe. Or to me, early morning pipe is a better Westminster. There's a little bit of difference there. It's been quite a while since I smoked early morning pipe, but there is a little bit of difference there. But I think for me, the Virginias are a little bit more prominent in the early morning pipe. It seems to be a little bit a little bit more Virginia forward. Whereas this, it's, you know, it's a lot of Orientals and a lot of Latakia, and the Virginias are there, sort of just rounding out the whole picture. Um, but it's really good stuff. You know, like I said, it's really good stuff. But like I said, for me, um, I'm gonna stick with Piccadilly or early morning pipe, especially since I just don't smoke English blends, really enough. Which is funny because I bought a tin of Robert McConnell Latakia flake a couple weeks ago because someone was hitting me up and asking me to do a review on Latakia flake. So it's not open yet. I don't know when I'm going to open it. Probably not till the end of summer, just because I don't smoke a lot of Latakia normally, and then during the summer it goes down even more. So I did open a tin of Quiet Nights the other day. When I was getting down towards the end of this, I kind of opened that, a week or two in advance. So that'll be the next one, and then maybe the one after that, I'll open up that Latakia flake because someone was asking me to do, give my thoughts on that. So. I really like the sort of earthy smokiness. It's just super relaxing. It's to me it's very calming. It's just nice and earthy and savory and smoky, and there's a little bit of pepper there, a little bit of spice. Not really sure where that's coming from. I think it's probably just coming from, burning tobacco. It's not like a perique spice. It's even more subtle than that. Yeah, it's good stuff. It really is. It's good stuff. It's very satisfying. I don't think, like I said, I've smoked a handful of tins. I don't think I've ever been, not satisfied. Um, and the cut, even though it's produced by Cornell and Deal, the cut to me is pretty good. Um, it's pretty good. It's better to me than a lot of other Cornell and Deal products, which I don't really understand because I think it maybe just be batch by batch. I'm not really sure. But the cut of this tin was pretty good for me. It's just like it's like a nice hug. It's that sort of sweater in the wintertime feel. You just yeah, and that's why I like English blends sort of on occasion is it's that sometimes you kind of want that sweater on a cold day feel, and that's what Westminster gives you. That's what early morning pipe gives you. Piccadilly, all these, even Quiet Nights. I smoked a couple bowls of that. It's very similar feeling to Westminster. Um, it's just good stuff. It's um, to me that's what's important. And I know there's a lot of people out there that really get into like that sort of ketchupy or vinegary or barbecue sauce flavor, that smoky flavor, and I like it. It's just not generally like what I prefer. This has all of that. Um, it has that vinegar tang. It has that slight bit of sweetness to kind of go along with that. Has that good smokiness. It's very predictable. It's very consistent, and you know what you're gonna get. So yeah, I like it. I think I'm gonna hold off on rating it. Just I don't know. I like it. I like it. I'm gonna say I like it. I don't love it. I like it. Um, the problem is there's just not a lot of room for English mixtures in my daily rotation, and this generally just is going to get bumped out. It's going to get bumped out by a few other things. It's going to get bumped out by um, it's going to get bumped out by the early morning pipes, the 965s, the Piccadillys, you know it's going to get bumped out by those, and it is unfortunate, but we like what we like, and I am I would say that I'm pretty lucky in that there isn't really anything that I've had that I hated in terms of like, I can't smoke something with Virginias. I know the guy that does the Pipe and Tamper podcast, I think he talks about that, where Virginias just don't agree with him, and he just can't. He has a really hard time smoking anything with Virginias. Even with small amounts of Virginia. So I feel really lucky that that's not me. I think probably Burley or Orientals in some ways, or Kentucky, they're all kind of on the lower end of the spectrum where I'm not where they can definitely break a blend for me, but I'm pretty lucky in that there's nothing really that I'm like I can't stand it. I have to stay away from it at all costs. Do not pass go, do not collect $200. So I'm pretty lucky in that way. So Westminster, like I said, it's pretty good. It's tangy, it's smoky. You got that barbecue flavor, that little bit of sweetness to kind of carry things through, and it's just like a nice warm sweater on a cold day. So if that seems like that's something that you're into, give it a shot. Otherwise, if you've tried Westminster and you like it, let me know about it. Leave a comment. Let me know what you like about it. That's always cool. I've been really having a lot of fun responding to people's comments. It's a good time. There's lots of good discussions in there. If you hate it, let me know. Let me know why. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts as well. Maybe you just hate Oriental. Maybe you just hate Latakia. Or maybe you just don't like, Pease or Cornell and Deal or, whatever. But either way, I'd like to hear your thoughts about that. Until next time, which hopefully won't be too long, happy 4th of July. Y adios.